Hello, and welcome back to our channel where we're going to talk about reviewing the CFEngine holiday security calendar for 2022. This is episode 20. Pretty good. I'm excited.
Milestone episode.
Greg, what have you got to share with us today?
Well, we have a bunch of holiday security calendar bits that we did, like an advent calendar, like we did last year. And so what I have to share today is kind of the product of that. Let's see if I can get out of this thing. I can. Okay, so
Hey, can you bump the font there just a little bit?
Yep.
That's good, thanks.
Okay, I actually zoomed. So this is our advent calendar, holiday calendar from last year. Various security related things like who can log in as root, disable root over SSH, just various security bits and pieces. And then this year we did the same thing, except new things and a fancier, I would say, graphic. It's a pretty cool graphic.
I like it. I like how 12 is halfway.
Oh man, there's so many good details here, like CF-Christmas, kind of like all our tools are CF-something. And then day 0, you know, that's good. Day 0. So
the question is, do we have a script that generates these images that is that command?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe Herman can do that. I know he likes to make SVGs with.
Right. That'd be cool. Yeah, I mean, I think the layout could be stable, and then we could just put in different images.
For sure.
So for this year, we're talking about a lot of build modules. So we have build inside of our product now for a little bit, and now we have an LTS release that has it in there.
I mean, to be fair, I think that last year we did a module every day.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think we did lots of modules last year too, but now it's in an LTS. So
well, yeah, now the tooling has matured a little bit more, some more features.
And for some reason, no.
$199.
Oh darn it! I'm okay. So when I was testing, I had two. I make the IPs based on the version of the OS, and 99 was my second rel 9 host. So that's what I was doing wrong. Okay, so we're back here. So yes, we have build, and we can see that we are using version 3.21.0, which is our LTS that we just released. And we have build, and I have a project here that I have made called All Advent, which is up on GitHub, craigconst.play CFBS. And in this, I have added pretty much everything that makes sense to add from last year's calendar as well as this year's calendar. So you can see there's a lot of
that's quite a lot
modules that we've made. And so I've added all these. These included various things. So let's look back here. So we'll close this one. This is the summary of last year. We'll go to, so like, for example, there's various tools, packages, software packages that you don't want to have installed, like remote shell. And so we can go in and I can go to one of these servers that I have running and install it. Let's see. You can see my screen. So which one should we do? We should do Debian apt install RShell server. Yeah, go ahead. Let's zoom this. Can you see that all right?
Yeah, great.
I like to use really big fonts most of the time.
Super easy to read. I can't wait to watch later on TV.
Well, let's see that. Well, I figure like if I need to use a small enough font because I need to see so much stuff, then probably whatever I'm working on is too complicated and I should probably just fix it. Okay, so then I can run CFEngine. And it might be pretty noisy because I have so many modules installed, but part of it should be uninstalling RSH server. Unless, of course, I was really wild and the agent ran automatically behind my back.
Behind your back?
I can take care of that. Yeah, I can take care of that. Yeah,
It's like, I feel like we need some Jeopardy music.
Do 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 do.
Not too long,
Do do do.
and we'll get copyright violation.
Oh, I can correct it with different notes. Anyway, we'll take a look at that later. So let's see, what else do we have? Updates, upgrades, and uptime. That was a blog post where we talked about.
That's installed. That's probably going to take your agent run for.
Oh, it's not too bad most of the time. Yeah. So one of the things is like, hey, do you have an operating system that is vendor supported?
Supported by the vendor. Yeah.
So I've got that module. There's one module that inventories that information, another one that will show a report, a compliance report. So I have this compliance report here, and out of all the systems that I have, 2 of them are not supported. So I could come down here, and the tooltips here show you what versions we're expecting. And so it looks like I've got 1 out of 2
CentOS.
So let's take a look at that. Okay, yeah, so I have a CentOS 7 box. That's no good. Can't have that. So
It's out of support already?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And CentOS 8 is not really CentOS 8, it's CentOS 8 Stream. So that's, and then we've got Ubuntu. What do I have here? Yeah, Ubuntu 16, definitely not supported.
There's still maintenance updates on EL7 until 2024.
EL7 or CentOS 7?
CentOS 7.
Yeah, but it's not supported.
Yeah. Start getting into all those different levels of support.
It ended, yeah, so security support, yes, but ended,
full updates ended in 2020, right?
Yeah, active support is done. So yeah. Let's see, upgrades, uptime. So yeah, so we can look at our dashboard here, and I think I may have removed the software updates, so we can put that back in.
This is you modified the default dashboard, right? This
Yes,
isn't the default out of the box. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, I modified it to put some different things in there. Which one do I need to use for software? Our chart for inventory data.
I mean, probably a table.
Yeah, it's cool. So like regardless, there might be some software updates available. Let's see. Software installed, software updates available. We can just look here. I don't think I'll have any because all these systems are, updated.
Run the module. Yeah.
There are VMs and they're all updated. The other thing to think about is uptime, right? So like how long these been up. For this environment, it's not very interesting because I just turned them on this morning. For my local environment, which I run on a Raspberry Pi, the hub runs on a Raspberry Pi. We can see like software updates. There are a few software updates available over here. And then what was I looking at? I was looking at oh yeah, uptime.
Uptime.
So we can go over here and look at reports, and I can just look at inventory, and then I can add uptime to the list here and uptime minutes. Yeah. So we can see here, like my this is my development laptop, has been on for a bit, and a couple other things have been on for quite a while as well. So yeah, so you can check uptime minutes, and the recommendation.
Wait a second, that says memory size.
What? Oh, sorry. Oh, memory size. Sorry.
Yeah, there we go.
Over here. So like this one right here is like the family laptop to play music and stuff. It's sitting on the piano. It never gets turned on and off, basically. So this is like almost 32 days, I think. And then yeah, some things like my developer laptop just got turned on this morning, so it's not been on for much. Yeah, okay, so there you go. Thanks, Nick. And the recommendation there is, if it's been up for a while, you probably need to restart it to get some updates going and whatnot. And then we had a lot of we had some blog posts or some modules and such that we wrote to make sure that files that are important, like message of the day or the different files like this, cannot be modified because it can kind of be misleading to folks. So I can go over here and check to make sure that that R shell serves. Yeah, see, it's not installed anymore. So we uninstalled it somewhere along in here. R shell.
Preparing.
Yeah, it might have done it in the other run. And then so like we can let's see, mod D. Is there such a file? Mod D. Yeah, I think it's there.
It's empty.
There. Yeah, okay, so that's a bad set of permissions there. And there you go. Yeah, so change the permissions back to something reasonable.
And all, like pretty much all, I think all of these like security calendar, like all of the security recommendations are straight out of various security guidelines, right?
And
OpenSCAP,
that's
SIGs,
right.
whatever.
Yeah. If we I know that there's like this one, I think in particular, well, this is address space. So let's look at this one. I'm pretty sure that I mentioned, yeah, I think many of these mention the OpenSCAP bits that we're working off of. Yeah.
Yeah, STIG
like,
guide.
like based on the OpenSCAP security guideline for RHEL 9, and then you can just go like read that and just go take a look and see what it looks like. So ASLR and find it. Yeah, so here you could just look at it and see remediation, shell script, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So let's see, where were we? We're at about here. So and we recommended removing various programs that you probably shouldn't have anymore, like R shell, Hawk. Let's see what else we got. So here, this is one that I think you worked on, Nick. So it's got shosts files in folks' directories.
I mean, that's part of like R shell, but actually SSH, actually that one's for SSH.
Yeah.
SSH does read some of the old R shell files, some versions of SSH.
Right. So yeah, you can mess it up like that. I guess LA. Right. And then it'll come back through and fix it. There, deleted them.
Delete them. Nice.
And limit access to Etsy issue, kind of like MontD. You don't want information in there that will lead people, kind of social engineering kind of stuff to lead people to do things that they shouldn't. Unshadowed passwords and Etsy password. This is another one that's pretty interesting.
Really ancient stuff if you've got unshadowed passwords.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's kind of like a Unix history lesson or something.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see if I did that right. Let's look at the end of Etsy password. Yeah, I did. And I think that's
it's just inventory, right?
Yeah. Yes. So that'll come up in a minute. Building compliance reports. I've done that. So let's go back to the reports and I'll go to actually here, I have it here, security holiday compliance. So I added a few of the things that we did as part of, so like last year, we suggested this Sophia Linus system to check on how well your systems are hardened. Here's the uptime. I said less than 2 months is probably like a finding, and then ASLR is fully enabled. So it looks like the hardening index, I set it to a value that was kind of in the middle of my environment. I feel like this would be like what you would do in
ratchet it up.
Yeah. So you say, okay, well, it's kind of like code coverage for an engineer. Like you don't set it to 100%. you set it to, a little bit more than what you have right now so that you can achieve it. So here, I just need to go to RHEL 8 and Ubuntu 16 and, work on them a little bit to bring up their hardening index. So that'd be cool. Can you hear the chickens crowing? Can you hear the roosters?
No.
Okay, well, I have like 3 or 4 roosters in the neighbor's yard, so they're kind of loud. So access to cron related files, same deal where there's like permissions deal situation. So there's this advanced intrusion detection environment software that can check for file integrity over time and changes.
Another tool that can do that.
Yeah, exactly. And then we go to the Security Holiday Calendar Part 2, and the first episode is file integrity monitoring with CFEngine. Right.
Yeah.
So then we can go to reports and do file integrity monitoring. And I've already added some policies to track Etsy MOTD. And we see this is it added some information here about the maintainer. I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, so I added this yesterday. Hey, I changed this file. And then it tracked that change. Yeah, so and that's let's see, I can show that. Let's see. That's just your example there of example voluntary monitoring, the stuff that you put in the blog post. There. I'll close that. This I'm done with. Track maintainers and purpose for your host and infrastructure. And that's what we just saw a second ago, where we suggest that you put some contact information for your hosts so that you know who's responsible for things. And this is something we do in our CFEngine environment for our infrastructure. So you can do host specific data for a particular host, say who the maintainer is, what their email address is. You could put any information that you find useful, phone number, pager number. That was a joke. Their Twitter handle, so you can at them publicly. Purpose, to say what it is. And then we wrote a little module to put that into, let's see which host I'm at. This one over here. Yeah, that's in MOTD. Oh, see, it's even here when I logged in. Use this machine for CFEngine Enterprise Hub for the agent is in. Contact create Comstock with any questions, issues. And then you could also do like a report if you wanted to take a look at all the different, although I didn't inventory that actually. So I had done that previously. I wonder if I did that over here actually. I think I did. So on my local environment, I set this up and I believe I made a report that shows me
maintainer info. Maintainer
info. I don't know what the difference is between those two. Yeah, so here I've got maintainer for different things, what the purpose is. Like I said, like this one's the family music and TV thing. Got my personal hub on the Raspberry Pi, my developer laptop, and then, the contact information. So not as useful in the home, but much more useful when somebody's out and you need to increase the bus factor by making sure you know who to talk to, who's responsible, what the purpose of the host is at all. Like we have kind of 2 sides to our company, Mender and CFEngine, and sometimes they overlap a little bit, and you don't talk to those people every day. You don't know what a system's for, so it's really helpful to know that stuff. We've got some more files that you want to delete here. This is Nick's favorite. It's always a DNS problem, so you want to uninstall bind. This is a change that Nick made, which is to increase the kind of security by default of directories. Yeah. So this is
they used to be 755 by default. So it kind of goes along with that other change that we made recently to disable RxDirs, where when you ask for read access, you would automatically get execute access, because that's usually what you want. But I mean, when you're doing security audits and reviews and things like that, you just don't want things giving you more permissions than the minimum, basically.
Exactly.
So,
Be conservative.
right.
You can always make more.
I tried to go for 400 and nobody liked that.
For directories?
Yeah.
Uh,
It's there. That's all.
yeah, okay. Here we have Samba, another thing you want to uninstall. This one's pretty cool. Ule wrote basically, how do you just write this stuff as policy itself? So, install this package,
So
uninstall this package, delete a file, enforcing access, managing the content of the file. So that's pretty cool. So that's basically like the content that's inside some of the modules. This is the policy inside of it. So it's kind of like, hey, take a look at the policy and see how it's done.
we may be seeing some new features come down the pike related to the stakeholders and promisees that were in some of those examples.
Yeah, right. So like you can
I'm
say,
super excited about that.
yeah, right, like why is this important, or
Auto collected report category type stuff. Yeah.
Uninstall Apache, deleting files. So yeah, this is kind of interesting. So like we've got this delete files module as well as uninstall packages module. And these modules are kind of like the other specific recommendations, like a module that uninstalls Apache or uninstalls or deletes a file or such. But this is more generic. So you can go in and you can say, okay, you can go to the UI here, and I've already added a couple entries of input data to the module. So we have the module that's kind of generic, and then you give it specific information. So delete temp virus, delete etc ssh shost equib. So I can go over here somewhere and touch temp virus, and it should go away.
And I guess one thing to point out on,
Go.
you probably need K.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that maybe I would get away with it. I would get away with it if I would have turned off execd, and so the agent wasn't running all the time. But yeah, here you can see that it's doing the upgrades and upgrading everything.
Yeah, doing all the other things that it had already done.
Yes, right, exactly. And some others. Hey, there
and there it
goes. Deleted temp virus. Yeah, and then so similar to this.
This one's using, file permissions does too. Both of those use some of the new features in the build for input data. So effectively, this is just streamlining, setting some global defaults that you would apply, to all of your infrastructure instead of relying on the host specific data. But you can still, depending on the module and how it's written, override and or extend that stuff just for an individual host, and then soon sets of hosts.
Right. So if I CFBS add delete files and it says, hey, this has user input, do you want to add it now? Sure. So what's the file? Temp virus, right? Why? Because. And then, do you want another one? No, that's good. And your commit comment's good. And now you've got some information here. I think it's in here. This
Did you build?
I didn't yet, but this is basically I just wanted to show that you can do it on the command line too. So
right,
that's kind of cool. You can just interactively edit it. You can also there's get input. Where is it? Like inputs. You can get input and set input, so you can kind of automate things there too. You could like maybe take some data from a CSV, munge it a little bit, and send it off via JSON or something like that into the inputs and have it be a part of your project.
Super useful for CI.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. So upgrade CFEngine. Yeah, they're just basically saying we're just saying use the latest. So maybe use 3.18.3. That's the previous LTS, and start looking at 3.21. Kind of cool thing that you can do now too is say like we've got the CentOS 7 box. the upgrade instructions usually talk about,
That's running
Nice.
321.
what's that? Yeah, I
That
know.
one's running-
So
okay.
we've got, but you can, so usually we talk about upgrading, you set it kind of for the environment, but with this host specific data, you can actually just set the class right here. And so that one can be triggered to upgrade. And then that's, what is that? The CentOS 7 box. Yeah. So I can,
You would need to target default namespace, I think.
yeah. One of my nemesis is.
Mhm.
And then I can go over here and say CF remote version 3.18.3 install clients. Okay, we're going to add CentOS 7. It's installing it. It's installed. Yay for us. I'll bootstrap it. That. Oh, yeah, no namespace is required. See, self-upgrade is press. And it's still 3.18.3 right now, but it's being upgraded as we go. So that is happy holidays.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very good.
All of the things are open and you didn't get any chocolate. Sorry.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. Yeah.
Well,
for hanging
great,
out.
Craig. Appreciate the tour. And I guess this will be the last one for the year. Episode 20 in the books.
Yep. It's a shame it couldn't be episode 21 to match our 3/21 release. But we
Oh,
did manage to get the date of the release nice. A little bit, right? Can we release on
Yeah.
the 21st? 3/21 on 12/21.
I think so.
And 12/21 is a palindrome, so that's good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, the important things.
Right. So there you go.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and like, subscribe, support us on wherever.
Happy New Year's, everybody.
Yeah.